Good morning. It is Friday, and this practice is one to get us moving a little bit, feeling a little bit, breathing a little bit, and just generally it's about moving a little bit. I call it the virtual hug. Let's come up to standing. So we are going to be here, feeling our feet on the floor in Tadasana. And just feel the center of the heel and the ball of your foot and the base of your pinky toe. And feel through your legs and through your pelvis and up through your torso, feeling the rib cage, collarbones, and face. Let's take the legs wide. Rotate the leg bones out. Come down into goddess. Okay, and then from here, start to bring the arms up and then bring them down. Okay, now, of course, if you are unable to do this through your arms, then just bring them to where it makes most sense, right? So you're feeling and you're acting on what you need. Okay, now one thing with your legs, remember, hips here are the primary articulating joint, same with the knees, but just watch that they're not coming in like this, or that your hips aren't coming forward like this, that you're just coming through flexion, and maybe take your hands onto the outer of the thighs, and then up, and then down. Feel the 3 points on the bottom of your feet. And then down, up, and then down. Okay, rotate those legs back. Now let's take the one leg out this way, pelvis turns a little bit, pubic bone and nose. Let's move into a very gentle triangle. Big breath. And then feeling the feet, but without pushing your feet to the floor, just feeling them. Come back up through your hips. Okay, let's go to the other side. Rotate the leg bones. Same thing. Nose and pubic bone. It's like you've got a yardstick there. There you go. Lovely. And then up you come. And let's come back to standing. Just see where you're at now. Feeling your feet, feeling your legs, feeling your torso, noticing your breath. All right, let's bring the ball over and then take the ball underneath your foot and then gently roll out your foot. And again, big breath. This morning I've been noticing my breath is just a little more held. It's been an interesting week for all of us. Okay, and then bring that foot down and then just stand. Good, and let's go to the other side and roll. And really get a chance to feel. I find that in times like these, it's so vital to come back to ourselves, like come back internally into our own state of feeling. It can really bring some clarity. Yeah, okay, and let that ball go and let's just stand. Okay, let's come into a little bit of a chair. So we're gonna squat down, but when you squat, just make sure that you're not just coming forward with your upper body, that you're really taking that as some movement between your hips and your knees. Feel the 3 points on the bottom of your feet. Yeah? Okay, now from here, let's bring the leg back, one leg back into high lunge. And again, remember that the primary, or the amount of movement of extension is about 3 to 11 degrees. So you'll see that there's a bit of anterior tilt to my pelvis, but we're looking for and feeling for harmony in your body. right? Harmony is another word for ease in my books. Yeah. All right, let's take the arms up initially into cowboy surrender and then straight up overhead. Whoop. And press that heel back. Feel the bottoms of your feet. Okay, we're going to come into pyramid, Parsvottanasana. Bring that foot forward. Pelvis is square to where you're going, and over we go. Feel those 3 points. Easy breathing. Nice. Okay, coming back up. Let's make that turn. Okay, so now coming to Tadasana the other way. And high lunge. Feel those 3 points. And as you're moving here, just bring notice to your jaw and your eyes. And just be aware that there's whatever starts to show up. So if there is an increase of tension, then you might be going a little too far. And then step that foot forward. Actually, nope. I forgot cowboy surrender. So cowboy surrender. And then take the arms up. Pay attention to your ribs. Good. And then from here, step forward into pyramid, pelvis forward. That's it. Center of the heel, ball of the foot, base of the pinky toe. Really lovely. Easy breathing. Good. And then come on up. Lovely. And then let's face. Come back to goddess pose. Legs wide. Rotate at the hip sockets, yeah? And start to lower. Good. And just notice, like for me, what I've noticed, you can probably see this in the screen, that I'm dropping a lot more easily here after doing that. So just notice what you're feeling and bringing the arms up if that's available. And let's add inhale up and then back down. Inhale up and then back down. Inhale up. Notice the 3 points of your feet. Center of your heel, ball of your foot, base of your pinky toe. Good. Lovely. Okay. Rotate those legs back. Now come back into triangle. So let's rotate the leg. Actually, let me reset that. Good. And then nose to pubic bone. Notice if anything's different there. Pay attention to your knees. You can add the arms in if you'd like. You can even take the top arm back, like so. Easy breathing. Notice those feet. Notice your legs. Be aware of what's going on inside of you. Pull senses back into you. If you find that your brain starts to spin off, wherever it spins, whether it's to a to-do list for your house or your to-do list for the world, come back to your breath for this moment. And for this one. And then coming on back up. Stay with that breathing again. Let's rotate those legs. Good. And nose to pubic bone. Both sides are even. This is all through the hips. Arms can come up, or they can stay here, or you can bring it back, or any of the myriad other positions that your arms can be in. Really, really, really easy, strong. So when I called this virtual hug, this wasn't about wrapping ourselves up into blankets kind of hug, but really from a movement place kind of hug, yeah? And then coming back up. So lots of different hugs out there. And boy, do I wish I could give a lot more of them these days. All right, so here we are in standing, center of that heel, ball of the feet, base of the pinky toe. Let's come to the back of our mat, and we're going to step forward, and we're going to throw a big ball of energy forward into what's going to look a little like Warrior 3, but you might not go all the way. So pay attention to your pelvis if you can. Good, and then come back up. Good, and then step back. Other side. One arm up, bring that ball of light and energy, bring it forward. Really reach both directions. Feel the bottom of your feet. Good. And then come on, whoops, up as I look at the camera. And come on back up. All right, come back to the center of your mat. Take those legs wide again. Let's do one more test. Legs come into rotation and then come down. Let's see where you're at goddess-wise. Yeah, and then arms come up. Good, and then come down. Arms up, inhale, and then down, exhale. Arms up, inhale, and then down, exhale. Lovely. Okay, come back to standing. Let's see where you're at. And what does this feel like? All I can say is I'm thankful to be here with you guys this morning. Feel those feet, feel the legs. Feel your body, feel your breath. Yeah. Okay, let's start to come down to the floor, but we're gonna pause in gateway on the way down. So be in kneeling. If you need something underneath your knee, grab it. Good, and then let's come over the side into a side bend. Here's a beach ball, don't forget that. See if you can feel your foot on the ground. I know some of you will have the outer edge lifting up. Just feel as much as you can with your feet. Yeah, if you want, you can bring that arm up. You can bring the arm behind you. Just notice that whatever you're doing, the articulating joint is right through that shoulder. Yeah, good, all right. And then let's go to the other side. Arms, that would be a leg, not an arm. And let's take it into a side bend. Easy breathing, coming back, really staying within the range that makes sense for you. Yeah, be you. Be you. Lovely, good. And then come back. We're gonna come all the way to the floor now. Have your block handy. We're gonna come on into a back bend, into a bridge, but we're gonna take the block underneath the hips, okay? So we're gonna take this, and it's on the lowest level, right? So you can have the block like this, you can have the block like this, you can have the block like this. Let's keep it at that lowest level, okay? And just let that pelvis rest on the block and just be easy here, okay? We'll come to the strap in just a moment, but really easy here, just rest. Just rest. Inhale, exhale. Okay, take the hips up. We're gonna come back to the block in a moment, but I want you to grab the strap and we're gonna come into a Supta Padangustasana, often translated as hamstring stretch. Okay, so the aim here is not really a hamstring stretch, not in my books anyway. What it is we're taking the leg bone into 90 degrees at the hip, knee is going to be bent, and yes, the hamstrings will need to release to make that happen. But let's think about it as a full chain between your foot and your hip. Your shoulders, elbows are easy on the ground. Hands are not holding the strap too hard. Good. If your knee is bent, the way I'm demonstrating it right now, you can start to play with straightening that knee a little bit. Just make sure about what it is that you feel and that your pelvis doesn't lift off. Just play around with that whole back line of your leg. Now the strap placement can either be like, you can see I'm sort of in the middle, you can have it back by the heel, you can have it forward by the forefoot. It's really what makes sense to you. And I can tell you from my practice, I change it up based off of what I need on a given practice. If your knee's bent like mine is on the left side, you can straighten it just a tad and then bring the legs slightly across your body. Pelvis is going to stay on the mat. So pelvis is grounded. We're moving just the leg bone in the pelvis. And then we're going to take the leg over to the side a bit. So we've gone across and now we're going out to the side. Good. And let's do it again. Bring it across. And then bring it wide. Now I just noticed something that I did in my body. So I'm just going to give the instruction. So as you come across, make sure you don't bring the knee that's bent, don't bring that toward the midline. Keep that leg exactly where it is. So the movement really is only the leg that's towards the sky. That's the leg that's moving. Okay, pay attention that it's the one moving in your hip socket. Okay, good. It was interesting to notice my doing that because when I stopped, all of a sudden I had I had to use more control through my torso to help keep my pelvis quiet. Okay, let's bring the other side up. Easy breathing. And then bring the leg across your body, pelvis on the ground. And then bring the leg wide. And notice what you do with the opposite leg if it wants to fall inward, and really be not like anchored with that leg, but think more that your pelvis will need to be controlled by your abdomen, not your leg falling in. Okay, try that on for size. Easy breathing. Being curious about yourself and your movement. Good. Okay, and let's take that strap away. We're going to come back to the block. Now this time, I'm going to give you the choice about where you want to place the block. I'm going to show you what we're going to do. For some of you, this is not going to work. Okay, and I'll give you something else that you can play with. But we're going to start to take the leg straight, right? So you can do it at that level. You can lift the block up a level and do it at that level. You can lift the block up higher and do it at that level. You get to decide what makes the most sense for you. Okay? Now, if that doesn't work for you at all, then just stay here. Stay here with the block underneath your pelvis, like so. Or if that doesn't work for you, then you can come and take an ankle to the knee and start to kind of go back and forth, left and right into this motion of really supporting yourself with your leg bone and hip socket motion. Okay? So play around with that. And you choose what makes the most sense to you. And if you don't like any of those options, because I can't see you, then you can choose something else entirely. Okay, so I've just got one leg out as we stay in this back bend. Or you can be doing something else, or you can be doing that supine pigeon twisty thing that has about 1,000 different names for it. Easy, easy, easy breathing. So no back strain, no sensation in your back. You might feel something through the front of your hip, but nothing in your back, nothing in your SI, nothing on the back side of your body. And neither in your jaw or your shoulder or, I mean, really anywhere, anywhere, other than the front of your hip, really. Okay, and then bring that leg up and let's go to the other side. And if you're doing the pigeon twisty thing, then switch legs. And if you're doing anything else and you've done one side of your body, then switch to the other side. Really easy movement here. Lovely. Okay, bring that leg back up. Now lift your hips, take the block away, rest yourself back down. Now we're going to come into a bit of a grounding exercise. I don't want you to bring your legs to your belly. Although we're going to go that direction, we're going to do something specific you've seen before. Leg comes to 90, hand comes onto the knee, and then we press. Now we're doing some hip flexion here. But pelvis is neutral. We're not rounding the spine, rolling out that back. If you're needing to do that, just take it as an idea that maybe you did a height or a movement that was not appropriate. And I say that really in the kindest, gentlest way, right? Because so much lies under our level of awareness. And it's really easy for our patients to be overridden by ambition. Okay, let's switch to the other side again. And so it's like it's so human to go beyond what we really have the capacity for. And if you want to improve, you've really got to start paying attention, right? So it's sort of an and both situation where, yep, humans do stuff like that all the time. And if you've got some pain or some strain and you want to make a change in your body, even if you don't have pain and strain and you want to get to the next level of functioning, then you've got to start to pay attention. You've got to find the resources to help you gain the awareness of what you're not aware of, so that you don't keep maintaining that habitual pattern. Okay, great. And then bring that leg down. Let's come into butterfly. So much like Baddha Konasana, but the feet are not sliding together. And you're moving just into rotation at that leg bone, coming onto the outside edges of your feet. Your feet are just following, right? So because I'm rotating my leg bones in the hip sockets, I'm naturally coming onto the outside of my feet. Yeah? So you determine what makes the most sense in terms of range of motion. If there's any pain on the way back up, for example, in your SI or your back, then don't go out quite as far. I do want you to connect in with your breathing though. Pay attention to your movement. Feel your system. And really feel whatever is there. Holy crap. There can be anything from anything, like the whole spectrum of emotions can be there. Good, good, good. All right, lovely. Then bring the legs here. We're going to start to move into a Shavasana. So you can take your legs straight out, or you can keep them bent or grab a bolster. And now I want you just to notice your feeling. Feel your feet and your legs and your pelvis, your ribs, your shoulders, your neck, and your face. Feel the whole back side of your body resting on the mat. And just feel. And then very gently, when you're ready, and you can stay on your back for as long as you need. I'm going to be rolling on over, up into sitting. Let me grab my block. And now being vertical here. And see how easy it can be to be in vertical. And if you need it to be easier, then place something more underneath your hips. Asking yourself, what else can you do to serve you and your body and your breath and your mind and your heart? Feel that breath coming in and out. And if you can feel it right down to the pelvic floor, then notice it there. And know that your breath, this is just a reminder, right? Know that your breath is one of the easiest and freest things that you can come to. So symbolic these days for so many reasons. And so with that, let's bring hands together and breathe in with ease and out with gratitude. Namaste. Have a really, really good day today. And we'll see you tomorrow morning. I'll be here right about 5 a.m. Take good care.